see, where are we? Virtual lands. Oh man. Oh man, oh man, oh man. We're gonna be starting week 4, bro. Wait. Yeah. Starting week 4. That's unreal. A lot behind. Honestly, this should have been done a long time ago. But virtual lands is going to be interesting. Oops. I'm interested in that. Is that the color? Is that how that's gonna work? That's not even the color. Wait, what color is this then? Yeah, that is not the color, bro. This is, but it's not appearing on here. Okay, stick with that. Do we have a VLANs? I do. What did I type, bro? What's up with this video? It's not playing. Something broke.
By default, port on a layer 2 switch domain. This means if one host By default, every port on a layer 2 switch belongs to the same broadcast domain. This means if one host on this LAN sends a packet to the switch replicates or broadcasts the it to all the other active ports on the switch. To create VLANs, you need to assign individual ports on a switch to the broadcast domain you want. Let's keep it simple and say that you want a VLAN for the sales department and a VLAN for the engineering department. You can create a VLAN for each department by assigning the hosts in the sales department to VLAN 2 and the hosts in the engineering department to VLAN 20. This isolates each department's hosts to their own virtual network, meaning they won't see the traffic from the other's VLAN. Each VLAN will also have their own MAC address table in this case, but we'll discuss that a little bit later. Now, if a host in the sales department tries to send a packet to an IP address on the engineering subnet, it won't work because communication between VLANs can only happen on layer 3. To get around this limitation, you could add a router to one of the switch's ports and configure it to route data between the subnets. Or you could use a layer 3 switch, which provides both switching and routing functions. Then the routing would occur internally. Okay, now let's expand our example a bit. Imagine you also have members of the sales department whose offices aren't physically close to the other sales team members. In this case, these members would be connected to a different physical switch, but they could still be configured to be part of VLAN 2. The same is true if you had members of the engineering department connected to a different switch than the first group of engineers. The physical switches can be connected through their VLANs. To do this, you'd configure the second sales team's ports to VLAN 2 and second group of engineers' ports to VLAN 20. For example, let's say that Jeff in sales sends data to Kim in engineering. The packet would go to the VLAN 2 port that Jeff's computer is connected to. The switch would then forward the packet to the router, which would then forward the packet to VLAN 20. Next, the switch would look at the MAC address in the frame and forward the packet to the next switch. Finally, the packet would arrive at Kim's computer. In this example, you can see that each VLAN has a separate connection to the router, and the connections from the switches to each VLAN are separate as well. This becomes very cumbersome if you have a lot of VLANs. The solution to this is trunk porting. A trunk port is a port configuration that allows multiple. Say that Jeff in sales sends data to Kim. The same is true if you had members of the engineering department connected to a different switch than the first group of engineers. The physical switches can be connected through their VLANs. To do this, you'd configure the second to be part of VLAN. Imagine you also have members of the sales department whose offices aren't physically close to the other sales team members. In this case, these members would be connected to a different physical switch, but they could still be configured to be part of VLAN 2. The same is true if you had members of the engineering department connected to a different switch than the first group of engineers. The physical switches can be connected through their VLANs. To do this, you'd configure the second sales team's ports to VLAN 2 and second group of engineers' ports to VLAN 20. For example, let's say that Jeff in sales sends data to Kim in engineering. The packet would go to the VLAN 2 port that Jeff's computer is connected to. The switch would then forward the packet to the router, which would then forward the packet to VLAN 20. Next, the switch would look at the MAC address in the frame and forward the packet to the next switch. Finally, the packet would arrive at Kim's computer. In this example, you can see that each VLAN has a separate connection to the router, and the connections from the switches to each VLAN are separate as well. This becomes very cumbersome if you have a lot of VLANs. The solution to this is trunk porting. A trunk port is a port configuration that allows multiple VLANs, in this case both VLAN 2 and VLAN 20, to connect through a single port. It keeps each VLAN's traffic in its own lane. Trunk ports are also called tagged ports. The ports that allow traffic from only one VLAN are called access or untagged ports.
They didn't really explain much, they just said that's what it's called. But that's fine. I remember that. Wow. Wait, what? What's the... I thought it was... Yeah, it's command backslash, okay. I don't want that. You can do, interesting. So what if I want that something else, like this? Will that work? Okay. If I do a new tab and say I want to test out, like, let's see this. No, what's a different website I can go to? Okay, fine, YouTube. Or what if I go to... and then do this. Yo! I did not know about that. Yo, that's crazy. I did not know about that. So what if I go to like a completely different website? Hold on, let's go to here and let's do this. Okay, now that works. Got rid of the conflicting commands. I also start a new website, so I don't want that. Let's go to, like, what if I want to create an account? It's something I just don't have. I don't know how I'm gonna know that. What do I just like go to? Look around at something, look around at something. What's something I would need like an account for? I don't know. Okay, fine, I'll just go to like, what's the first thing? Whatever, let's go to, no. Let's go to, okay, fine, youtube.com. And let's say, I want to create an account. Okay, no, that's too involved. What's an easier login thing? Can't think of anything, bro. Can't think of anything. Oops, I was muted. Okay, so that works. Oh, nice. And it works with Touch ID. What is this? Pages. Oh, I beat the case. Yeah. I beat the case. I beat the copyright case against Apple. Yo, we up. Yo, we up. White boy winner, baby. This is a white boy winner. We up, baby. We beating cases. We beating copyright cases against Apple, baby. We up. Did you know about that? Whoa, what is this? Oh, it's gonna want to do all of these. Okay, I don't want to do this. Oh my goodness, let's just do any connection to it. Hey, we up. White boy winner, we up, baby. White boy winner, we up. Oh, now he posted. Bro, I've been looking at browsers.
Choice.
Been looking at browsers, and now DistroTube popped up the Zen one. So let's see what he wants to say about that. You know what I'm saying? Which is it just disappeared. Oh, I just clicked. I always accidentally be clicking X, man. There it is.
So my browser of choice for the last couple of years has been the Brave browser, because the Brave, it's still free and open source software. It comes with nice features as far as privacy and security. It comes with built-in ad block, and it's kind of minimal in its UI design. I quite like Brave, but I understand why a lot of people, even though Brave is free and open source software, a lot of people avoid the Chromium-based browsers because it still has that Google stench to it, right? Because Google creates the Chrome engine, so any browser, whether it's free and open source software or not, still you're kind of buying into the Google web monopoly. So a lot of people just on that principle alone stick with using Mozilla Firefox. But Mozilla Firefox has been hemorrhaging users because the company and the foundation behind it, they just do weird things. They're not really that interested in actually making software anymore. They're more worried about political, social activism and things. And their browser, it's just kind of bad as far as some of the defaults. It's just not a good product. Now, if we're just talking strictly on the technology itself, Firefox has kind of lagged behind many browsers in recent years. So, I've been looking though for good Firefox-based browsers. Maybe somebody can take the Firefox engine and, and fork it, create a Firefox-based browser and actually do something interesting. And there's a few Firefox-based browsers out there, but, nothing that really made me go, you know what? this is my browser, I'm going to switch to it. Until the last couple of days, I came across this browser. It's rather new, it's in beta. This is the Zen browser, and I've got to say, I have been extremely impressed with this browser. So first of all, the Zen browser, as I mentioned, is based on Firefox. It is cross-platform. If you click on the download button here on their homepage, you can see it is available for Windows, Linux, Mac OS. Now, of course, I'm on Linux. Most of you guys watching my content are probably running Linux. You can choose the Zen browser for x86-64 architecture, and you have a variety of ways to grab this. You can download the tarball, you can download an official app image, you can download an official Flatpak. You can also, if you're on an Arch Linux-based distribution like I am, it is available in the AUR. There is a binary build, and the chaotic AUR also contains a binary build of the Zen browser. That's actually how I installed it. I installed it using the chaotic AUR. And when you launch the Zen browser for the very first time, you're going to be welcomed with a welcome screen, kind of similar theme to how their website here is. You'll get a little welcome message, and it'll ask you a couple of questions. First, they'll want to know what kind of layout do you want the browser. I chose this layout where I have the sidebar here with my tabs and the URL bar here at the top, but they have a different layout where you would have the tab bar here on the side and the URL bar also on the side, so it's a single sidebar, and it would look something like this. It would be expanded out with the tabs, and instead of having the URL bar here, you'd have a small little URL bar here. I'll actually show you that later. It'll also ask you about an accent color for the browser, and then it'll finally ask you, hey, do you want to import bookmarks from one of your existing browsers? So it detected that I was using the Brave browser, and it wanted to know, do I want to import all of my Brave bookmarks into Zen? And I chose yes, and it did that import beautifully. It imported all of my bookmarks. Now, one of the things I immediately liked when I started using the Zen browser was the minimal interface. We have the tabs, which are kind of necessary to see. You have your back and forth and reload button, the home button, and then you have the URL bar and not much else here in the top panel. I kind of like that. Many browsers, especially many browsers from years past, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, they were trying to fit as much stuff into the UI as possible, and I just thought it was cluttered. It was filled with a lot of things I would never use. I just need the URL bar. That's essentially what I need in the browser, and I don't necessarily have to see the URL bar all the time. I wouldn't mind that thing just being hidden and only coming out when I type, and the Zen browser does allow you to do that. They have what is known as a compact mode. If I right click inside the tab bar here and I go to compact mode, and enable compact mode is turned off, but if I enable it, I can choose to hide the sidebar, hide the toolbar, or hide both. I'm going to have hide both ticked on and enable compact mode, and boom, everything goes away. It is just a frame with the web page. Now the URL bar is there. If I mouse up to the top of the screen, it pops out, and if I move my mouse back down, it goes away. If I do Control T, I can actually bring up the URL bar here and start typing something. I can navigate to a URL, or I can just escape out of that, move my mouse back away here. If I had multiple tabs open and I wanted to see the tab bar, all I need to do is move my mouse back over to this side of the screen. Now for me, I would probably want to see my tabs all the time, and maybe my toolbar all the time, so I'm going to turn it off, but I can understand some people may want to turn off one of the bars, or both. So if you want to do that, just enable that compact mode. Now these days, vertical tabs are kind of the new thing with a lot of web browsers. Everybody's moving to having your tabs vertical along the side rather than like a top panel. And I kind of like the vertical tabs as well. Let's do a new tab. I'm going to right click here and I'm going to select New Tab below. Now this is the Zen browser homepage. Now this homepage, by the way, is actually very customizable. Typically, I go and install extensions for a nice homepage. One of my favorite extensions for both Firefox-based browsers and Chrome-based browsers is an extension called Tabliss. I actually have done videos about Tabliss in the past, but I don't think I need to install that in the Zen browser because their little homepage here has everything that I really want. Now this is what it looks like out of the box. You've got, the Zen logo, you've got a Google search bar here, you've got weather that is very accurate. It knows exactly where you are with geolocation. Now I changed my location to Chicago, but you guys know I'm actually in Louisiana, but I changed it because you didn't need to know exactly where I was at, but you can actually turn the weather off if you don't want that. Some other things you can do, you can go into the little settings over here and you can choose shortcuts, so sites that I've visited here recently, will show up. If you wanted to turn on recommended stories, of course, that would be like your pocket news stories. I don't really use that, so I probably wouldn't use that, but recent activities is also available. Let's turn off the recommended stories and shortcuts, and this will be, sites I've visited recently. For me, I probably would just leave the shortcuts and the recent activity and maybe the weather. Now as a content creator, I may turn off the weather just because of the geolocation stuff, but you guys that are not recording your browser often probably want the weather. One really neat feature you can do is Zen browser has the ability to actually split tabs into a split view, kind of like a tiling window manager.
Jeez, why is it so loud still? Turn that thing down, fam. Oh my goodness, you can't even see the tabs, bro. That's one thing I actually don't like about that. Yeah, it's just not as usable. It looks nice, it's very clean, it's not as usable. I'd have to go with the standard probably. Or go with vertical. But look at the vertical, bro. Oh my goodness, what did I click? That's not even, that shouldn't minimize it, but somehow it did. Window. Yeah, it shouldn't have been that. There we go. 1 second. We back, baby, we back. Um. I really don't like sidebar because of how small it makes everything look. Or the side vertical tabs. It's just no good. I like standard, bro. Stick with that. Oh, it's because it's got, can you change that? That transparency?
For example, I've got two tabs over here. If I hit the control key and select both tabs and then right click on it and go down to split two tabs, the two tabs I have open are now in this split view, and I can change whether it's split vertically like they are now or horizontally. And if I go over to the URL bar, you can see I've got this icon that is, the icon is the vertical split, right? It's this split, but if I wanted to change it, I could change it to the horizontal split, or if I wanted to, I could do the unsplit, and I'm back to having these as two separate tabs. Now, because the UI is the most interesting aspect of the Zen browser, right? That's really how it differentiates itself. Let's actually change from the layout I have here to something different. So if I go into open settings and I go into look and feel, these are your three browser layouts. And again, when you launch this for the very first time, Zen browser will ask you which one you want to choose, but any selections you make, you can always change them later if you want. So right now I'm using the multiple toolbars, so the side tab bar and then the top URL bar. But if I wanted the single toolbar, I could click on that, and now I just have the single toolbar here, right? So this is the URL bar. It's now the very tiny little URL bar, but it expands when I need to see more stuff in it. And then I have my tabs, which are also expanded because now you get not only the icon, but you also get the page title as well. You can also play with the theme and the colors. So if I go back into look and feel, we have night theme, default dark theme, and colorful theme. So this is the default theme, the dark theme. But if you wanted an even darker theme, you could choose the night theme, and you can see it gets very black. Or you could choose the colorful theme, which is going to be based on whatever accent color that you choose, and you can pick a color. I think the default dark theme is actually very sexy, so that's the one I've been rocking. But you can really get creative with some of the colors here. If I right click and go to change color themes, and you get this little grid here, and just pick some colors. I'll pick that blue, that pink, maybe something up here in green, and I can play with the contrast and the texture, and you can get some really cool little.
Wait, how do you do that?
It's going grid here and as well. You can also play with the theme and the colors. So if I go back into look and feel, we have night theme, default dark theme, and colorful theme. So this is the default theme, the dark theme. But if you wanted an even darker theme, you could choose the night theme, and you can see it gets very black. Or you could choose the colorful theme, which is going to be based on whatever accent color that you choose, and you can pick a color. I think the default dark theme is actually very sexy, so that's the one I've been rocking. But you can really get creative with some of the colors here. If I right click and go to change color themes, and you get this little grid here, and just
Whoa. I mean, not supported. What does not supported mean? It's not really even that smaller. How did he do that?
To change color themes, get creative with some of the colors here. If I right click and go to change.
Hmm. Hmm. That's pretty nice. Wait, this has profiles too, right? Yeah, profile. Right here. Okay. Oh, you can do workspaces and environments? Oh, what is this? It's not even, doesn't even exist, bro. It doesn't say anything about it, bro. Like how to use it.
Color themes, and you get this little grid here, and just pick some colors. I'll pick that blue and that pink.
Yeah, mine does not have that, bro. Why is this app not working? The Zen browser literally does not work. Like, this is not working. This browser does not work. Something wrong with this browser? Yeah, it's literally causing errors, bro. Bro, what? fact that they're sponsored by Tudo is pretty good. Actually, Zen's a pretty good option, actually. Except for the fact that it doesn't work, bro. Except for the fact that it does not work, bro. Vivaldi's pretty fast. What is Vivaldi built on? What does this setting do? What is this built off of? Personalize it. Oh wow, you can really personalize a lot of stuff. Oh, there's two things here? Let's edit that. Or I can just do this. Oh, it's got tab tiling in Vivaldi? Hmm. Interesting. Opera? Who uses Opera? Let's see this. 2 levels, tab stacks. Oh, tab stacks. Chrome's got that? Firefox is like nothing, bro. Tab groups, unlimited tabs and split screen. Custom tab bar placement. You got custom macros on Vivaldi? Dang. I didn't know they had features like that. Custom keyboard shortcuts. Built-in focus timer and productivity clock. Custom apps and sites in the browser sidebar. Tab hibernation, break mode, built-in note editor, built-in mail, built-in calendar. Privacy. What's I forgot what it's called. What's that site called? No. I gotta open up Raindrop. Why is this over here? Let's see. Privacy. Which one is it in? That didn't do anything? Okay. Yeah, I've got to trust it. So let's do. Okay. Or it's this one. Yeah. Hmm. 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 Oh, there we go. Okay. Privacy test, this one it is. How come this is not saved, bro? Jeez, it just, okay. So they do have a Vivaldi here and opera. But it's missing this, this, this. Firefox default settings. Safari. Pretty good on this side of the field. Pretty good there. Not so good here. Completely missing out here. Stream isolation. Here, nothing. Nothing here as well. Remove URL parameters. I think if you use clear URLs, you can get rid of that. Interesting. It's got this one, whereas Vivaldi doesn't. Interesting. It's got quad 9. It's not the worst, all things considered. It looks like this fingerprinting resistance is really the main thing it's missing out on. Some miscellaneous tests. Okay, and also this tracking parameters. Tracker, content blocking. I think you can get these with... You can get this with extensions. Like with Orion browser. Yeah, like this doesn't work. Oh, now it's working? This is all you got? Hmm.
Something up here in green, and I can play with the gets very black, or you could choose the colorful theme, which is going to be based on whatever accent color that you choose, and you can pick a color. I think the default dark theme is actually very sexy, so that's the one I've been rocking. But you can really get creative with some of the colors here. If I right click and go to
Look at this. Change theme colors. Bro, this browser does not work. Look at this. This browser does not work. Bro. This browser straight up doesn't work. We're gonna quit, bro. Bro, it does not work.
change color themes, and you get this little grid here, and just pick some colors. I'll pick that blue, that pink, maybe something up here in green, and
You see, this color changer should be like this, bro. Has that even changed anything? It's not really changing anything. Well, why is that not, tint, compact, and vertical tabs, title bar, and sidebar. Oh, you can't do the regular? Oh, that's tough. That's tough. Oh, I see. You can't even do that for standard? Oh, that's tough. We gotta do vertical tabs, bro. It's the only way. Now this is changing, but it's not really doing anything for this.
play with the contrast and the texture. And
oops. See, this is kind of cool the way it's doing that. And then you can go into focus mode. I mean, I want to give Zen Browser some props. I feel like I would like it, but man, you know, it's not, it doesn't work. It's in beta, I suppose. Orion is pretty good, man. There's no downloads thing in here. Whoa. Oh, here. What the? It just appeared out of nowhere. I think I glitched to the app a little bit. I glitched the app, bro. What's going on with this, bro? I don't want to restart, but I think I kind of glitched it. This one's also in beta.
you can get some really cool little gradients going on here. Right.
This just doesn't have splits.
If you guys will be able to tell on the video, but the texture adds a little bit of noise to the background, so that's kind of cool. For me, I'd probably turn that off. And yeah, really neat stuff for me. I actually, I'm a minimal kind of person. I like the default dark theme without any of the accent colors. So I'm going to turn this off. How you turn this off is the colors you've selected, right click on them, and they go away, and I'm back to my default theme. I'm also going to go back to my multiple toolbar layout because I like that. Now, it still kept the tabs expanded, but I can collapse those back. Alt B on the keyboard, toggles that sidebar on and off as far as the expansion. And there are several key bindings built in to Zen Browser. If you go to keyboard shortcuts, you will see that there are a lot of keyboard shortcuts here. So your key bindings, you can see Alt Control T, Alt Control F.
I don't know why these are like layered like this. Oh, is it because it knows that I opened them up? That's pretty interesting.
Alt Control C are your compact mode key bindings. So if you're in compact mode where you're hiding all the toolbars, let's go ahead and do that. Hide all the toolbars. If I want the toolbar back, Control Alt T brings it back. Control Alt T sends it back away. Control Alt S gives me the sidebar. Control Alt S hides it away, and then for both at the same time, Control Alt C for compact mode, and then Control Alt C again for compact mode for me. I'm going to turn back on my toolbars. I like seeing them all the time. As far as managing your tabs, if you had a million tabs open, let's go ahead and open a few more new tabs. Alt and then the numbers on the keyboard. Alt 1's first tab, Alt 2 second tab, Alt 3 third tab. We scroll down to some other useful key bindings. You do have key bindings for the split view. So if you've enabled split view, so let's go ahead and split a couple of tabs here. So now I've got splits side by side. You can see I can toggle the horizontal split with Control Alt H gets me to the horizontal split. Control Alt V gets me back to the vertical split. And if I want to close the split view, Control Alt U gets me out of the split view and I'm back into standard tabs. If you want to close a tab, Control W is kind of a standard key binding on a lot of browsers. Control W for kill the window, kill the tab, gets rid of that tab. Now, one thing to note is I did find a little bit of a bug in this. If I go to keyboard shortcuts, typically on most browsers, Control T opens a new tab. And that's what it says here in Zen Browser. Control T should open a new tab. But if I hit Control T, it actually gives me the URL bar and I can search for something, right? Which is not a bad key.
Saved my settings here. What's the shortcut for that? Oh, sidebar. Okay, so it's that. Interesting how it kind of refreshes. Saved my settings here. What about search? Saved that. You can't like deselect that, bro. Toggle floating toolbar. T. Command. Okay. Oh, and now this is not working again. I'm sorry, ZenBrowser's just not working, bro. It's just not working.
For that, but again, if you're used to Control T opening a new tab, that's going to conflict. So that URL bar, there's a conflict with Control T. But I found that Control.
Wait, you can't do DNS on this app though. Zen just don't work, bro. Zen don't work, fam. Sorry.
T does in fact open a new tab. I just opened a new tab on the same page I was on before, you can see, but I have two different tabs open now. Control W will kill that tab. One of the most useful and unique features of ZenBrowser that I've found is it has this ability to kind of preview a web page before you actually go to it. So find a link on a page, for example, the download link here. I'm going to put my mouse over it. I'm going to hit Alt on the keyboard, hold the Alt key, and then click on the link. And you get a little preview, a little quick glance at the page here. And if this is the page I want to be on, I can hit the little expand button here, the full screen button, and it actually does open that page properly in its own tab. Let me hit Control W to kill that page. I'm going to go back to the first tab here. Now, if this is a page that maybe I'm not sure if it's useful or not, again, I hover over, for example, release notes, hold the Alt key, click with the mouse, and say, hey, you know what, this page isn't the page I wanted. Well, the close button right here will close that preview, and I'm back on the page I was on before. Now, because this is a Firefox-based browser, you can use all of your Firefox extensions, and I know a lot of people will ask about syncing. So if you use multiple devices, especially home computer or a laptop, also you use mobile, and you want to be able to sync your stuff between all of your devices. There is no mobile version of ZenBrowser, but if you use the mobile version of Firefox or any Firefox-based browser, ZenBrowser can sync with Firefox and vice versa. Also, it's very customizable as far as the user interface. While I like the defaults, I think the defaults are perfect. I wouldn't change them, but if you wanted to add more stuff to the bars or whatever, you could right click, you could customize toolbar, and it's just like doing this in Firefox. You just drag what you want to the toolbar, the little widgets. For example, if I wanted a proper search engine search bar, maybe I want to put it here. Now I have my URL bar here and my search engine search bar here, if that's what I wanted to do. If I wanted, let's see if I can actually find something that would be useful. Well, here's one, the bookmarks menu. I could certainly use bookmarks, on my toolbar. I could add that. Let me hit escape, and now I have my bookmarks here. I still have the search bar here if I wanted to do a proper search, or the URL bar if I actually just wanted to go to a web page. And of course, you can also enable various plugins and extensions. All your Firefox plugins should work. So some of the first things most people are going to go grab are things like uBlock Origin, for example, your ad blocker. Yeah, just go grab that, get that installed right away, and you're pretty much good on ZenBrowser. For something that is still kind of beta software, is this something I could recommend and say, hey guys, go try this out? I think it's perfectly fine to use right now. Yeah, I actually think this is a really good web browser, even in the early days. The one thing that kind of scares me is because it's a new browser. It's got a very small development team. It's mainly one guy working on the thing. We need more people probably working on this thing, but I think this could be the next big free and open source browser. I think it has a lot of potential, which is why I'm doing a video about it today. Now, if you want to check out Zen Browser, again, it's available as an app image, it's available as a Flatpak on Arch-based distributions. You'll find it in the AUR. Now, before I go, I need to thank a few special people. I need to thank the producers of this episode: Matt, Steve, Armor Dragon, Cap Caveman, Darloff, Daedalus, George, Lee, Mythos, Urion, Paul, Peace Arch, and Fedora, Realities for Less.
See if there's any videos on here. Titus has got one.
Let's talk about Florp Browser, one of a really kind of interesting new browsers that's hit the market. It's from a Japanese company called Ablaze. It's a fork of Firefox ESR, the security release for Firefox. So very secure, very just stable. So that's kind of what I wanted to go from. I moved from Thorium based on some other videos. I'll give you an update on that at the end of this one. But I wanted to first talk about Florp. Besides having an absolute awful name, it is a very good browser. If you're a big Firefox user, I'd say this is the browser to install. Now, having said that, why? Big things here is just a couple subtle things that I enjoy out of the box. One, blocks all tracking and no user tracking. So there's really good protection on both sides without any customization. It's completely open source. Everything's listed on GitHub. You can actually go to their website, florp.app, and just go right to their GitHub and download it, or you could download it directly from here. It also sees regular updates, has a pretty extensive contributors, and it just is not gonna go anywhere. Also, the default stock designs are very good. So I wanted to kind of just go through a couple settings here from just this design aspect. You can click here, kind of go through and go, hey, what do I want to do with what design you have? I like its stock layout, and I just go with the dark theme, but you can choose a whole bunch of different themes here, and they have a great way of doing it. They also have this sidebar, which I didn't think I would like, but after using it a little bit, I think I'm gonna leave it. You can also do like a vertical tab bar, which I thought was kind of interesting. I'm not gonna mess around with that today, but there's a lot of customization here that I do enjoy. So I usually just kind of set this to dark and kind of set all that up as well. You can also download themes as well, going down to extensions and themes, and going over here, you can actually pick up the specific things or download other Firefox themes if that's your thing. Now, one other thing I really like at the very bottom of just general preferences, you can actually spoof Chrome in Windows. I really like just kind of leaving this option on. You'd be shocked at how many browser or websites that just kind of don't work. I think Sony was one I had a problem with, and then once you spoof Chrome, it works just fine. So I really like that, and they also have a good DRM content player. So if you want to play DRM controlled content, just tick that on. Those are really the two changes I make from the actual stock ones. Most of everything I just imported from my Thorium instance. I'm gonna go ahead and play a snippet from when I installed this back in early December about moving all my bookmarks over and then just the initial setup process. Here's my setup for just moving from Thorium over into Florp. So what I'm gonna do now is just open up my bookmark manager. You can do Control. Now that's pretty good. And now I just create a Mozilla, tried Firefox. A little disappointed finding all that stuff in the browser from a prior video. There was some, have removed all that. Now I have went ahead and reinstituted